3 of their cadres have been produced before the Nagaland police. We are aware of 7 names, but during investigation, more names could come out. Either they will follow the 3 people or we will follow them and bring them to.
Hornbill TV ita police complex chumukidi mate aigana ase 19 January te Nscn-Khango group ra ekta businessman Kiyeto Zhimomi ke abduct kurigena poisa demand kura laga case oporte ita ekta latest update mon jani paise ki Nscn-Khango group la tinta cadet Lovito Hokivi aro Vini ho takan tinjen tu ele to police custody te ase aro dusra baki bi aro takan ke durubule baki ase koina mon jani paise aibi itu laga case related oporte ita DGP Nagaland pra itu press conference dia ase takan laga investigation further investigation aro ceasefire ground rules ki violate kurigena ase itu gambe mon DGP logote details sailomo.
As you are aware that the police received a complaint about a person, Mr. Kiyeto, being abducted. Then we sprung into action. After a lot of front channel policing and also back channel policing, we were able to we means everybody together was able to get Mr. Kiyeto rescued. Subsequent to that, during the investigations, we learnt who were involved. Then we made efforts to arrest them, all the accused. After a while, when the normal policing thing did not work, then yesterday the Dimapur Commissionerate and all the Nagaland police forces deployed under the CP Dimapur, we put an embargo around the camp of Nscn. Camp means the Ceasefire Supervisory Board office of Khango Wushe faction. We did not want a confrontation, so we prolonged the embargo. We tried to talk to them, our officers tried to talk to them that if the named accused persons are inside the camp, they should be asked to surrender. If they are not in the camp, the faction should hand over these people to us, because after all they are their cadres. And especially after one of the interviews which the faction's representatives gave, it was very clear that the abduction had taken place under the orders and instructions of their seniors. So they could not deny that they were not aware or the faction was not involved. So towards the evening, Nagaland police entered the camp. We were in the camp. Unfortunately, none of the persons was found. Within the camp, also inside the camp, our officers negotiated that they should hand over their cadres. The faction did not have an option because, as I said earlier, that they were aware who was involved and whose instructions were there. Meanwhile, during the daytime, I had briefed the senior leadership and the government on the developments which had taken place, including the fact that we were putting an embargo, we were encircling the camp. This was all known to everybody in the state leadership. And during the day, we corresponded with the Chairman Ceasefire Monitoring Group that the faction has been found violating the ceasefire ground rules. During the afternoon, around say 3:30 p.m., the chairman corresponded, wrote back to us that the Khango faction had apparently tried to clarify its stance on the abduction, but the chairman had found that response unsatisfactory. I'm not very sure whether that response, that letter has been shared with you. If you want, I can share it with you all. So in that letter, the chairman clearly mentioned that the responsibility for implementation of the ground rules is of both the government of India and the faction, and none of the factions, in this case the Khango factions, does not have any vested right to interfere or to deal with law and order. I'm not using the exact words are in the communication. he has also mentioned that if they had any grievances, they should have approached the chairman ceasefire monitoring group about the grievances. Here I would also like to mention, if you would have noted my talks with you, my conversations with you, that even during the past 2 years, 2.5 years, maybe 3 years, on the issue of drugs and other crimes also, I have been requesting the public, including all the factions, that if you know there is a crime which has taken place, please inform the police. Don't take law into your own hands. This was a clear-cut case where the faction had taken law into its own hands. I would here also like to invite your attention to 2029, I think April 29th, 2024, where the government of Nagaland has clarified its stance on what is extortion, what are the limits of power and authority of these factions, what they can do and what they cannot do. So this is not something new. They were aware of this. They ought to have been aware of this, but they still continued doing what they were doing. In addition to this, if you have that letter of the earlier communication of 2024, it's okay. Otherwise, I'll share that also with you just for reference. In addition to that, the chairman of the ceasefire monitoring group also mentioned that the ceasefire supervisory board offices which are being given to any of the factions, in this particular case, Khango Wushe group, are only meant for a limited purpose, which is to help maintain the peace. Our understanding, since I am also a member of the ceasefire monitoring group or the board, he is the chairman, General Bedi is the chairman, but I am also a member, IGAR and others are also members. It is our considered view that no faction can summon or invite or abduct or keep anyone in their camp or threaten anyone for any purpose. These supervisory board offices are only meant to help maintain the peace, to help prevent interfactional clashes, to help prevent any misunderstandings between the Nagaland police or the security forces or Assam Rifles and any of the camps. There is no other purpose of these camps. If these camps are being used for any other purpose, it is wrong. Also, these camps should not be in populated areas. That is how the demand of the civil societies and NGOs of Nagaland has come up, that these camps should not be in populated areas. Their camps, their ceasefire offices being in populated areas, per se, it is a threat, poses a threat and creates terror and fear in the minds of the public. So that is where the SUMI organizations yesterday and in the past, the business chambers and the BAN and other organizations of Nagaland have been insisting that these camps should be taken out of the populated areas. And these are also things which are part of the ceasefire ground rules. So this is where things stand now. As I am told that at least 3 of their cadres have been produced before the Nagaland police for investigation. We are seeking all the cadres which are wanted. We are aware of 7 names, but during investigation, more names could come out. So I'm not ruling out any further arrest in addition to these 3 cadres. Besides creating fear and terror in the minds of the people and disturbances to public order, I think all these activities are also vitiating peace in the state, peaceful atmosphere in the state. These activities are also detrimental to the growth of businesses, employment opportunities for the youth in Nagaland. My request to all factions is, please abide by the ceasefire ground rules. The ceasefire ground rules do not permit you to do a lot of things which you are doing. If anyone complains to us, as a part of the state, we shall take action. We shall stand with the public of Nagaland, and we request that the public of Nagaland should stand with the Nagaland police against all this. Thank you very much.
So there has been allegation against the victim also. What is the Nagaland police going to do about that? Because, like as you have mentioned, that you have asked the public also to come forward with any, info about anybody doing all of these things. So would the police also further their investigation and towards the victim of, the alleged victim, I would say, of Kiyeto Zhimomi?
I would request that whoever has any information about commission of any cognizable offense, they should come up with a complaint to the police, make a complaint to the police. We will take action as per law. Even if it is the victim in this case, anyone for that matter, we will take action. My request to the factions is please don't take law in your own hands. If you want to give a complaint to the police directly, you can go to the police stations or the DCPs or ACPs, additional DCPs, CP, or come to me. You don't want to come to us, you want to give a complaint, submit a complaint to the chairman of the Ceasefire Supervisory Board or the Ceasefire Supervisory Group. You are most welcome to avail that channel, but please don't take law in your hands. If we have information about an offense as per law, it's not as per what you think is an offense, but as per law, if it is an offense, we will take action. Okay? We will not spare anyone. If the media and the public would recollect that about, I think, a year and a half back, there was this case of drugs in Dimapur when 40 odd soap cases one of the factions had seized, and they let off the persons from whom they had seized, but later on we arrested those people also in the case of NDPA. So a victim is not a victim always, a victim is not an accused always, and an accused is also not a victim always. So it's a combination, but we have to assess whether a particular act which is being reported to us is an offense. Okay, if it is an offense, please rest assured, my assurance to the entire Nagaland population and anyone is that if there is an offense made out, Nagaland police shall not flinch from taking action against anyone.
Sir, one question, just a continuation of that question. At the press conference day before yesterday on Wednesday, addressed by the MIB announcer, Nscn-Khango, there at the press conference, they have claimed or rather accused Kiyeto Zhimomi of collecting tax in the name of the Naga political groups. So would the police consider that as worthy or deserving an investigation?
See, we are already doing this case. If there is any evidence which comes to light that it is being done, we can take action on the basis of that also. Okay, but their MIP Kalon, so that's why I'm saying if they make a formal complaint, it's much better. If anyone makes a formal complaint, it's much better, because if I just go by what they have said in the press conference, they have admitted to a lot of crimes which they are taking place also. Okay, if I start taking cognizance of press conferences, then it is a very difficult thing for them also. So I would suggest that if they have anything concrete, please let them file an FIR with whatever evidence they have. Okay, we will not flinch, but the depends on how I take cognizance of the press conference. In the press conference, it is very openly said that they said we had been asking him for money. So it is if I go by the press conference, it is a continuous action of committing or giving threats to people to collect money. They have admitted this in their press conference. So, but if they have anything against Kiyeto or against anyone, whether it is on extortion or whether it is on smuggling or anything which is illegal, please let us know. We will take action. They can file an FIR with us and file a complaint with the police.
Sir, the question clearly the question civil society's organization of the alak organization nakan political groups kan jun the ceasefire supervising board office public jaga din na thakibo lagi ko urgent species holi ga amegan palma saishiguli sir do home affairs government of India right takan ge allocations dia ase takan laga offices kan to set up program. So if in that case
no government of India पर ध्यान होए तो the camps are allocated by the chairman of the ceasefire supervisory board or the ceasefire supervisory group. Okay, there is a mechanism for doing this. It is not by MHA, it is by the chairman of the Ceasefire Monitoring Group, where every one of us is also, everyone in the Ceasefire Monitoring Group, including Nagaland government, is consulted. So it's not correct to say that MHA is doing it.
So, sir, yadi coordination apni dia clearly koi dishe, to public area dia apni kan bhi kile set up koribo de.
Hoy, ito ana ame ito kobo ito a lot of these things set up koribo dia laga kam to ekta ase. Ito problem ase set up kile koribo dishe. Ito to ekta ase. Only if you realize, Makan Bujile to Nagaland is the major business center, now only major center of activity of Nagaland is Dimapur. So everyone wants to be in Dimapur. So Taikhan ke bhi better coordination nimite Dimapur dibo. Hole bhi that itu diya to it is only for coordinating of ceasefire and not for extortion or for crimes. Okay. So this I will share this letter with you, the chairman's letter to them yesterday, which says it is only for a limited purpose. And limited purpose does not mean committing any crimes or extortion or summoning people or sending out patrolling teams or anything. It is not for that purpose. I am very, very clear about it. Okay, Taikhan bhi to bujhe wo lage, to Taikhan laga limited purpose as means Taikhan laga manu dorishe kole to hame ke phone koribi, DCP ke koribi na, chairman ke phone koribi na. दूसरा फैक्शन ताइकन के दिगदार दिया से कोले अम्मा खान के को भी ना होले भी मनु खान के मत्ती वो एक्सटॉर्शन करे वो धोरी करना आने वो इतु तो परमिटेड नहीं तो दैट इज नॉट द पर्पस फॉर विच दीज ऑफिसेज हैव बीन गिवन ओके एंड नागालैंड गवर्नमेंट हैज बीन वेरी क्लियर दैट वी विल नॉट अलाउ एनी फर्दर सी ये तो इनिशियली प्रोबेबली हमें तो ना जाने कहानी पुराना लगा हो वो होले भी इनिशियली ताइकन के ऑफिस दिया तो इन गुड फेथ दिशे तो इट विल हेल्प इन मेंटेनिंग बेटर सीजफायर होले भी मिसयूज होइसे तो इतो these premises are being misused. If they are being misused, then the permissions need to be withdrawn. Okay, for withdrawing the permissions of these camps to be located wherever they are located, the concerned village council or the owner of the land, he should withdraw the permission. Okay, Nagaland government has not agreed to any permission. If these permissions are withdrawn and we are asked where the next office should be allowed, we will give our view when they give us the options of Taikhan ko jagolas. Okay, we cannot commit itu jaga dibo, itu jaga na dibo. Populated area to thakibo na lage. But if they say that these are the three options, then the chairman ceasefire monitoring group asks us for our opinion, itu jaga te dibo na nahi. Then we will give our views. Okay, हम में भी होई itu jaga पर आ जाए जाबी दूसरा जगह जाबी दी दिबो permission ni kubona pare. Unless I know which location, I will not be able to comment on which location. But the limited point here is that these offices, ceasefire supervisory board offices, are for a limited purpose. My request to all factions is please adhere to the purpose for which they are meant. Your camps are not inviolable, that they can not be entered into if there is a criminal activity taking place in that.
So why I'm asking this question is because apni jawab to dishe. So most of the time, apni on jo takana supervisory board office to communicate korbo peace maintain korbo rak dishe. Will be most of the time Dimapur, Newland, Chumulaga cases te naga political groups kan taon de crime ikta korbo.
Hamakan bujhe sab jane.
Supervisory board office te jai jabo police kan bhi tadi jabule kaune piche problem hoi jai.
So itubar to जाइसे तो पहला भी एक बार जाइसे कौन बात दूसरा फैक्शन फैक्शन है एक बार पहला भी जाइसे तो
Same faction.
कोई I don't remember, probably same faction or other faction, but rest assured if it happens we will repeat what we have done this time. Okay, these offices, they just give you an immunity for doing an act which you have to do, which is to maintain peace and maintain the ground rules of ceasefire. If you are doing anything else, it is wrong. My request to the public also is, none of these factions have any right to summon you to any camp or any office. Please don't do it. Okay? Please don't do it. You are yourself wrong. Or ito taekwondo taikhan koise to paisa lagana. So if you are giving money to them, ito bhi offense hobo pare de financing laga. So public ke bhi request kore ase to apne khan buji bhi de tate jabole. Firstly, they don't have any right to do it. If they are calling, it can be called any other offense. There are many offenses in the laws. Okay, any of these offenses can be invited. So request is, please, if you have to be there, Firstly, they should not be in populated areas. If you have to be there till the time you find another place, only use it for the purpose for which it is meant. If you use it for any other purpose, if we get a complaint, we will interfere again. We will intervene again.
Now that the Western Sumi frontal organizations have demanded that they relocate themselves also, now what is the CFMB also thinking about now with this case, in regard to this case and this group now? Are they going to take it further? And because today their statement was to reconsider this.
Yeah, so as I said earlier, I will repeat the same thing again. An office or a camp, these are two different things, okay? For an office or a camp to be in a particular place, it is a concurrence of views of 2, 3, 4 people, okay? Chairman, Ceasefire, I'll just say Ceasefire because it can be a board or a group. So chairman, state government includes state police, but we can also have a different view. Central agencies, Assam Rifle, because they are part of the Ceasefire monitoring group or the board, the local village, and the person on whose premises the land, the office or the camp is sought to be had. But the bottom line is the Mati Malik. If the Mati Malik withdraws the consent, there is no option. Then everybody else, including the state government and the chairman and all, will say there is no consent, please withdraw. So my request is, it's a very welcome. It has been happening for about 2 years now that various organizations, NGOs, civil societies have been saying, take them out of the populated areas, okay? This is the first time probably where the Sumi frontal organizations have said they should go. My request is to the Sumi frontal organizations, if you can, please keep insisting that they should shift. Once you keep insisting that they should shift, they have no option, and the chairman's and the state government's hands get strengthened that they should shift. It is in everybody's interest that they should shift. I'm not saying just one faction. All other factions are the same. All other groups are the same.
So in this case, who is the land owner?
I am not sure. Even if it is whoever is the landowner.
In this particular case, who is the landowner of the place where the CMSP for Khango Hokkaido is located?
I am not sure, but whoever is it, okay, if it is Hokkaido himself, then the village can convince him. I'm being sort of, as an example, I am not sure, but if it is Hokkaido himself, then the village can tell him, please, we don't want to have it. And the strength of the Naga community, the village is so huge, so big, that if the village requests, it is an order. Okay, if the village requests, and it is for everybody's benefit. It is for everybody's benefit.
3 people have been produced now. The rest, the 4, which are in the...
Either they will follow or we will follow them. Yeah, either they will follow the 3 people or we will follow them and bring them to...
The 3 can't surrender, or the police are apprehended them?
No, they came themselves. I think they were produced. So it was after discussions with them. As I said, like, we don't want any bloodshed or any violence. So it's much better if they come. If they don't come, then we'll chase. And in that chase, whatever happens, happens. Another thing I want to convey a message from the Nagaland government and also myself and PHQ is that the government of India, at the request of the Nagaland government, Honorable Chief Minister, Deputy CM and me and the Home Department, has agreed to fund us to set up almost a carpet network of CCTVs and ANPR cameras in Dimapur and Kohima. Okay, we hope that these measures in the maybe next upcoming 4 to 6 months, they will help in preventing all these issues, or at least in catching the criminals without any problems better.
But can we assure to sustain that project?
We shall try. Try is what we can. We shall try. This is a beginning, okay. But taking this opportunity, I want to request all members of the public to please help us in this endeavor. Those can be small things like we want a small electricity connection which will cost say 20 rupees or 30 rupees a month, but you have a shop or a house, you can give that. It can be just a small space for keeping some equipment, small things.
In connection to that, I make the question into, since you mentioned that some few years back, it was the Home Minister himself who inaugurated a similar project, a CCTV thing. Central monitoring station was at the Commissioner's office. So I think it went defunct after a few weeks or months. I don't know what's the condition now.
See, so I am aware it was probably in 2016-17 probably. If I remember correctly, it was those cameras were located. That also it was by initiative. So I remember we had cameras at about 16 locations. Okay. There were multiple issues in that. Firstly, those cameras were isolated cameras at individual locations. They had no centralized feed at any place. Okay. Secondly, there was no in continuation. There was no the feed was not connected to a central hub or a central location. Here it is a full project from the ground to the control rooms. We will have decent control rooms. We will probably try to put up 24/7 control rooms where at least 20 to 30 people should be there at a time. Okay. On the issue of running it, manpower and space is not a problem. One of the issues is running cost. For the first year, the Government of India has agreed to give us internet connection free virtually. Okay. For the first year, it is free. I have requested the state government and the Government of India if they can try to help us by reimbursing the running costs every year, the internet connection cost and all. If that happens, this project should be sustainable. There are other methods by which this project can be sustainable, which is that the system is very good. It is AI enabled. It can also help to traffic challans and all. Okay, depends on how ready Nagaland police is, public of Nagaland is, Dimapur police is. The fines that we collect from the system, that can be used for say maintenance and doing other things. But this is something that is my idea, but we can talk with the public, we can talk to the government about it. I think it will make things very sustainable.
So, कितने e-चालान शुरू करो डिपार्टमेंट? No, I mean, पैसा तो किनारे चाहिए.
हमें तो पारले कल भी start करो बोले मुन्ना से. But there is I will not say it's a tussle, but we have requested state government, Nagaland police has requested state government to give us permission to have an e-challan system. We had tied up with a bank. That bank had agreed. They had funded those POS machines for us free, but it has not taken off. I will, since you have raised this issue, I will again raise this issue with the government that if they can permit us to do it. More than you, I am interested in doing that, because if I get money into one coffer, I can use that money for many other things. Not my coffer, state government. So let's see how it happens.